Hello, welcome back to the Web Architect. Today on our lesson 2 on basic HTML and CSS, we will be discussing formatting HTML and our CSS pages to begin coding. So we're going to start with correct formatting for HTML and CSS and very basic HTML. So let's start formatting. Let's begin by opening our Visual Studio Code and opening the files that we created on our previous lesson. Then to correctly format, we are going to start with writing doctype HTML and then enter HTML. Start with our HTML brackets. Then we will insert our first title, which will be uh, why coding is cool. Then we will insert meta char set UTF-8, close it, and then we will also include meta name equals viewport, and then we're going to do content equals width equals device width, and then initial scale equals 1.0. Close that off, slash, close. Okay, of course, there's probably going to be a problem here. Okay, now we will include and then we will now link this with our CSS page. So we're going to do relationship equals style sheet, and then we're going to href it, we're going to hyperlink it with styles.css or the other CSS page that you created. Then close it, done. Next, this is optional, but there's also another 2 lines of code. All this code is in the description in our GitHub repository. Each lesson is in the GitHub repository. Then you are done with this, and of course, this will be called the head section. So HTML head section. So make sure that you include this in your head section. This also right here, you will discover this in the future lessons, is where you will include your links for fonts that we will import from stuff like Google Fonts. Okay, next, you are pretty much done, but to format it, you're also going to need to create this body. This is where you will put all your content for this page, index.html. So now I will show you how to open this, what we just did in Live Server. So you're going to right click and then open with Live Server. So right here, you see that we have a blank page. And now we are just going to split screen here. And as you can see now, we have our both applications. So inside our body, we can start with H1. And we'll do why coding is cool. And then it appears. You do not need to reload. It is all included in here. So like that, you set up and you correctly formatted your HTML and CSS coding environment. You should be ready to start coding for the next lesson. Now, So why should you correctly format it? So that we can link our CSS and JavaScript pages. I will show you how to link JavaScript pages in the next video because you will not need that for future lessons. Debugging, this will help you with debugging and just easier learning. So how do you format it? You open the project and you insert the code, and we already went through all this. So this will be our basic HTML. We will learn in our next lesson the H1 and H2 references. And so what we went over today, we started by basic formatting our code inside of VS Code, and we formatted our text using doc.html and linked it with a styles.css pages, and not exactly our app.js file, but that's very easy to link, very similar to our styles.css. And we began with very basic app production. On our next, on our next lesson, we will be expanding on HTML1, loading navbar sections and divider containers on our H1, H2, and paragraph references. So, thank you for watching today's lesson on very basic HTML and formatting. Tomorrow we will have a new lesson, and thank you for listening today, and see you tomorrow with a new lesson.